Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is episode number 16 of the Unreal Engine Beginner series, and in this video we are going to make an end screen for our game. So currently, if you remember, if I hit play and I just wait until the enemy starts spawning. By the way, I changed the spawn time for the enemies from 5 seconds to 8 seconds because that felt a bit better. Currently I can obviously kill the enemy, by the way, but if my health also goes 0, then nothing happens really, and I'm just like as I was before, and I can do anything to the enemies, and the poor enemy can't do me any harm because I'm kind of invulnerable, I guess. So what we need to do is we basically need to create a way that allows us to get rid of this problem that we have got. And by the way, why are you not like working? Okay, that's weird. Okay, so basically we want to fix this problem so that it does not cause any problem, and we want to basically allow our player to actually move correctly. So how are we going to do that? Well, in order to do that, let us begin by actually opening up my player. So if I go under blueprints and I'm going to open up my player, in here you can see we have got this thing. Okay, what is okay, we've got an event tick here, an event attack here, and well, a bunch of other stuff, I guess. By the way, I'm going to take this event tick and I'm going to put it in front of the event attack, and then I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to make it a bit lower, I guess. Okay, so we have got any damage here event as well. Now that is pretty nice, and you can see we are basically doing this. So if the set health was greater than 0, and if that was the case, then we are playing the blood splash animation. And what we want to do, if this health was not greater than 0, we want to play some kind of death event. So I'm going to create a separate event to keep things organized. I'm going to add in a custom event in here, and I'm going to call this event death, and I'm going to plug that in here, put it in here, and then we are going to just basically call this death event here to actually just activate it, and this event should now automatically be called whenever we do this. So then what we want to do, we actually want to do is we want to kind of take the control away from the player, and then we want to show a kind of death screen, I guess, and yeah, that's all we need to do. Oh, by the way, just a tidbit, you can actually move up and down in the scene by pressing Q and D if you haven't figured that out by yourself already. Just a little thing here. Okay, by the way, so let's get back to our death thing. So in here what we want to do, so we basically want to take the control away from the player, prevent it from doing anything, and then we want to make it so that it actually has got, so basically we have got like a death screen. So we need to obviously create a UI death screen for that. And how are we going to do that? And firstly, how are we going to take away the control? So I think that the first thing we should do is take away the control problem, and then we can get to adding like the beautiful looking UI later. It doesn't matter that much. And that UI should basically allow two things. It should allow us to go to the main menu and allow us to restart the game. So yeah, we'll do that, and make sure to like and let's get started with that now. So in order to do that, if I go under my death event, and I first of all I try to so if I go ahead and go firstly we want to turn our show mouse cursor on. So we want to get our character controller, get controller, get character, get player controller, just get the player controller, and then we are going to set show mouse cursor to be true. And now let's test that out and see if it actually functions that way. And if I play now, what you can see is that we are just standing here, and an enemy should appear here in like 8 seconds, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 yeah, there he is. Oh, okay, he starts attacking me and I start hitting him, and in the end I do die. Now I have got my mouse cursor here, and I can actually try to I can still move around if I go ahead and like drag this mouse cursor around, because it's no longer like in the way that it was supposed to be before. It's not captured, and I got my cursor, and I can kind of move around still using the arrow keys, and for turning I have to kind of press my mouse button and drag, and that means that the first step is working and our death event is being called correctly. But there is a slight problem that I just figured out, which is that we do not this death event will now, for now, it will execute more than once if the enemy attacks us again, which is not something we want. So we are going to go ahead and say do once. Now this do once not make sure that this particular action is done only once, as the name suggests. So this is pretty easy. So it will make sure that we do not like try to die over and over again, which might cause problems, So yeah, we just set the mouse cursor, then we do that, and then yeah, this, and that works. But now we need to change it so that it does not like happen this way. We also have like lose control of the actual player. Now doing that is actually relatively easy. We can use a function which is really which is very simple and is conveniently named disable inputs. Now this basically disables all kind of inputs, and for the target we are going to keep self, and for the controller just plug the player controller that we have. And just make sure that you have got like this like for organization, and yeah, that looks pretty awesome. So if I play now, what you should see is that I've essentially got a perfectly working that system. Yeah, so he kills me 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and then you can basically see my mouse is freed. I cannot move anymore. I'm pressing my keys but I cannot move, and everything else has basically got stopped now. So what we want to do now is we also want to add a different kind of UI to the screen. So for that we need to create a UI. I'm going to right click in the blueprint. I'm going to go under my UI folder. I'm going to right click, create a new widget blueprint, and I'm going to call this death screen. Okay, that's awesome. And what we are going to do in here, we are going to get an image in here, and for the anchor we are going to select total, and then we are going to set it everything to be like 0. So set everything to be 0, and that makes sure that this is basically a background that's going to cover the whole screen. And we are going to have a basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under my player, and I'm going to actually it might be a good idea to do this inside of the HUD, but for now we can just go ahead and say add to we can say create widget. You can do it inside here. It might be better to do it inside the HUD, but for now, for small games it doesn't really matter. We are going to choose that screen, then we are going to go ahead and say add to screen, add to viewport. Yeah, add to viewport, and what we are going to add is that the return value of this. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. And once we do that, what you should see is that if I upon my death, and by the way, I'm going to go under my blueprints, and then I'm going to open up my enemy spawner, and then I'm going to just decrease this time to 2 seconds for quick testing, so that the enemy starts spawning a bit quickly. Yeah, there are other enemies coming here as well. I'm going to be surrounded from all 4 sides. Okay, what's happening here now? Okay, a bit of a glitch there, but anyways, you can see that these enemies are damaging me, and yeah, oh wow. And once I die, this white screen appears, which is kind of a bit of an unexpected thing, but no, it's not really unexpected, it's expected, but because we have got currently just a white background in our screen and nothing else, but that it shows that it is working. I'm going to put this back to 8. It might cause problems with 2, but I'm going to go under that screen, and for this background we are going to go under the appearance, and then the brush, and then the tint, and we are going to make it black. But I'm also going to go under the alpha, and I'm going to reduce that down to 0.5, which makes it essentially a dark background for our screen. Now on top of that, I'm going to open up my UI, and then I'm going to open up my main menu UI, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it here basically. Yeah, and that looks pretty awesome, but the position is not copied correctly. This needs to be 0, and I'm going to put this at 100, and then before this we are going to say game over. Okay, that looks awesome. And now we are going to say I'm going to copy the whole play button, and then I'm going to go under that screen, and I'm going to plug the whole play button in here, which is pretty awesome considering that now we have got like a button which actually can do stuff. I'm going to set this to x to 0, and then this to be I'm going to set it to be -50, so that it's a bit above. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste this again, and then I'm going to rename this to be okay, so we are going to rename this to menu, and we are going to rename this to be restart. Okay, that's great. And then I'm going to actually I've got a different idea for this. I'm going to actually change the position on the Y to be lower as it was at 50. Then I'm going to not really 50, just make it 0, and I'm going to change the position on the X to be a bit on that side, and then I'm going to change the text to be menu, just menu. menu, and then I'm going to maybe change its font size to be just like 90 instead of 120. Not really 90, yeah, 120 is fine. 120 here. Okay, that's fine, and now I can select this and I can actually move it back to somewhere here, and then I'm going to go under this restart, and I'm going to change this to be just restart as well. And then you can basically use this text and move this button a bit over to the X side as well. So basically that allows you to have two buttons on one side, and I'm going to make sure that this is 400 while this is negative 400. Yeah, that looks pretty awesome. You can even change this to negative 600, and then you can increase the size of the text to be like 200, I guess, which is a bit quite a large thing. I guess 200 is a bit too much. 150 maybe, yeah, you can do that, and then you can go to the restart, and then you can make this at 600 as well. Even so, you shouldn't do that technically. Okay, let's go under the text and change this to 150, so that's a bit larger. And then let me go to the text, and then let me change this position X to be somewhere around at 400, I guess is fine. No, 500. Okay, that looks pretty awesome. Then I'm going to change the menu, and I'm going to put that at negative 400 back again. And you can see the problem here is that the buttons are not equally sized, and if you want to do that, what you can do is you can basically go under the menu, and you can maybe try adding some spaces. Even so, that's not the best way to do it, but if you do that, it should size the button correctly, and yeah, we have got kind of a very nice thing in here. So currently these buttons do not function, but we do have the basic game over screen ready. To make the buttons function, it's not that difficult. We can go under the menu button, and we can go ahead and add in a on pressed, and not really on pressed, by the way. You can use on pressed or on clicked. It's a bit different, but we are going to choose on clicked for now. And then I'm going to go to the restart button, and I'm going to choose on clicked for this as well. Okay, that's awesome. For the menu, we are going to use open level by name, and for the name we are going to just say main menu. I guess that was the correct name of the level. If I'm not wrong, go to maps, you can see we have got main menu. That's fine. It needs to exactly match the correct name, and you can close this now, and then we spawner as well, I guess, but let's keep it open. And for the restart, we are going to hit open level again, and we are going to not open any particular level, but just say we are going to basically say open the game map again. Now what that does is basically restarts our game, which is exactly what we want to do. So now we should have a fully functional death screen. So let me show. Here I am got my game player here, and I'm walking around, and the enemy starts to attack me. Okay, and he starts to attack me, and once he gets to 0, then I get to see this screen, and we have got like a darkish thing on the behind, but I think it's not like dark enough. In my opinion, it should be a bit darker, maybe 0.75. yeah, that looks a bit better, but you can't actually see that in real time, sadly. So if you stop and play again for once, let's try that again. Now the enemy should appear in 8 seconds exactly, and by the way, these enemies will keep occurring after every 8 seconds, and that enemy is facing the wrong way. I need to change the rotation, I guess. But anyway, if the enemy starts attacking me and I get my health 0, you can see we've got this nice dark background, and we have got our menu button and restart button. Pressing menu takes us to the menu, and restart should basically restart the game. I'll just show you that as well. So yeah, this was pretty much it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and in the next video we will make more stuff for our game, so stay tuned for that, and make sure to like and subscribe as well, and make sure to share this video with other people who want to learn Unreal Engine, and bye.